Hey, what's up everyone? It's People's Crypto. I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the 5-stage life cycle of fiat currency. You can actually find this article on BullionStar.com. Please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and please seek out a financial advisor. Alright, so there's 5 stages to all fiat currencies in its existence. I would say right now we're probably at stage 4. But before we get into that, let's go through each individual stage first. Alright, so stage 1, it says here, is fueled by optimism and euphoria as politicians promise growth stimulus with the least amount of pain and discipline. In the beginning, there will be promise of fiscal responsibility to print only what the country needs and live within the budget means. However, such period is usually short-lived, as politicians, central banks will soon give in to the temptation to print more money so as to stimulate growth. This happens all the time. We've passed that stage already. So now let's take a look at stage 2. It says stage 2, restrictions will be slowly removed from the currency creation process. The idea of paying off debt is no longer important as compared to growth. As a result, growth becomes the single most important driver of the fiat system as currencies gradually lose value due to the declining purchasing power. People have to work longer hours to maintain their standard of living, and this is something that we're seeing now, but I believe we're well past that stage at the moment. People are already losing a significant amount of money on their dollars. We're being taxed heavily, and this is in every country. In some countries, their fiat system has already went through all of these stages already and already failed. We've seen that in Venezuela and Zimbabwe. If you go back in time, you could already have seen that in Weimar, Germany. And there's also other evidence of this in history with other nations losing the battle and creating too much fiat currency and putting too much money in the system. So let's take a look at stage 3. It says stage 3 is the gambling stage where excessive liquidity makes its way into the stock market and real estate market. Growth will start to slow down and therefore more money needs to be created to stimulate growth. This means that the interest rates must be maintained at an artificially low level. With interest rates kept low, at the same time there's significant money printing. People will have to take risk on stock market or real estate market just to keep up with inflation. In stage 3, people also start to borrow more because of the wealth effect, with the bubbles causing them to feel like they have more money than they do in terms of purchasing power. Now, I believe this is a stage that we have already passed here in the States. I think a lot of other countries have also passed this stage as well, which is pretty interesting and actually shocking. We are seeing a lot of money being pumped into the system right now. Interest rates are artificially low, and they may even go negative. I think in some other countries they're already negative at this current moment. So there's no telling when here in the States we'll be going negative, but it may be happening soon, maybe next year or the following year. We just don't know, depending on how things go with this current health crisis. Now the next stage is stage 4. So it says stage 4 is the penultimate stage of the fiat cycle. Sluggish growth in Western countries force financial institutions to try to make money through other means than financing and brokerage fees. At this stage, corruption prevails, fundamentals are ignored, wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. At this point, individuals must look out for themselves by not trusting the government or financial advisors. Those who fail to do so would suffer potential loss of wealth in the latter part of stage 4 and stage 5. I believe this is the stage that we're in right now. We are definitely in stage 4. I will say people still trust the government and people still are trusting their financial advisors. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad financial advisors, so you even need to do your own research before picking a financial advisor, because sometimes they can make just as bad decisions as any no-advice investor would. So fundamentals are completely ignored right now. The stock market is doing tremendously. Even though Friday, I believe we closed at 700 points, they're probably going to prop it back up. That's what's been happening for the past couple weeks now. I think we've made it back to our previous all-time high with this very weird V-shaped recovery, which is completely nonsensical, especially considering that nothing has gotten better. In fact, things have gotten worse. There's more companies filing for Chapter 7 and Chapter 11 bankruptcy. There's just so many things that's going completely wrong right now. We have, I believe, 50 million unemployed people in the States right now, and this number has been growing about 2 million per week, which is completely abnormal, and it's far from normal. We will be seeing hyperinflation real soon once they continue to go through with this reopening of the economies here in the States. However, that might be rolled back again into another lockdown type of situation. This is not appearing that it's going to be a easy transitioning period. A lot of people aren't really feeling the effects yet until it hit home, until we start seeing food shortages, and until their loved ones or they themselves start losing their jobs. Then I think that's when we'll start seeing some more of the personal economic pain for these individuals. But people at the current time, they still believe and trust their government, which is okay, which is fine. But this is why I always say you need to do your own research, because they're always going to make it seem as if everything is rosy, because they don't want bank runs, they don't want people panicking, they don't want robbing and looting to extreme levels. So this is why it's somewhat their responsibility to make sure that, hey, everything's going to be all right. We're going to bring sports back. We're going to bring this back. Everything's just okay. Wear your mask and everything will be fine. We'll have the vaccine. They're trying to reassure people, but at the same time, they're definitely scaring people with these increased numbers. Like, oh my goodness, the numbers are spiking. So they're not really speaking too much in terms of where the economy is. Everything has been more so the focus of the current health crisis. All right, so now let's take a look at stage 5, which is a stage we'll be seeing pretty soon. We just don't know when exactly, but it will be happening. So it says stage 5 occurs when there's hyperinflation, which is the worst economic phase of the fiat cycle. In stage 5, the currency becomes worthless. At this stage, precious metals are often reoccurring in the monetary system to be used as currency or to be used to back up the currency. Keep in mind that hyperinflation has occurred at least 56 times during the last 2 centuries. It says, at this stage, only the movers and shakers can influence lawmakers to implement the laws that benefit the rich and elites, especially those with the highest concentration of wealth. The middle and the low income groups lose out the most and tend to feel that the rich get richer. This is due to the rapid erosion of purchasing power caused by the inflation. During each stage of inflation, gold appears to rise in value as currencies continue to lose value. This is because as paper money loses value, the only alternative will be real money represented by precious metals such as gold and silver, and I'm going to definitely say Bitcoin will be in there now as well. And it goes on to say the increased demand means that they will appreciate in value not only against fiat currencies but against other tangible assets. There is a strong possibility that the global monetary system may collapse in the near future due to a crisis of confidence in the paper money system. Individuals must realize that the current debt-based model for the monetary system is not sustainable, and there will come a breaking point when the government debts become uncontrollable, which is happening now. When this happens, you want to keep your assets in only real money, gold, silver, and I'm going to definitely say Bitcoin as well. So we haven't reached stage 5 yet, but there's still time. It's going to happen soon. They are using quantitative easing. They're printing out money as if it's going out of style, and ironically enough, it is. They want to implement a digital currency, which isn't Bitcoin. It will be a digital-based government-backed currency, which I don't know if they're going to back it by gold. China appears to be moving towards the direction of backing their digital currency by gold. It seems like that's what they're trying to do, or that's what they want to do. So it's only a matter of time before we get to stage 5. This is going to be insane. Many people will lose all their wealth. Imagine seeing all of these people who are used to flashing money, that they make the money, cell phones, in these music videos. These people, they show off on your social media how much money that they have. All of that's going to change because you won't be able to do that anymore. They'll probably implement something where, okay, you have 30 or 60 days to bring in your cash to the bank or to whatever designated locations, and we're going to give you, this digital fiat money, and it'll probably be worth half or maybe less than half of its previous value. We just don't know how it's going to happen, but it will happen it's sometime in the future. They definitely want to go forward with this great reset that they're talking about. The mainstream media isn't really covering it. However, if you go to the IMF's website and you can see it, you can read it for yourself. It's just amazing now all of this is going on and really no one's really paying attention. The main focus has been just this current health crisis. So a reckoning is coming, and it's going to shake up the entire world. It's going to be a gigantic domino effect. Everything is going to collapse. The stock market, the real estate market. It's just going to not be good. It's going to be horrible. So your best chances of preserving some of your wealth would be to get yourself some gold, silver, and I would definitely say get yourself some Bitcoin, because it seems like Bitcoin is going to be the one that outperforms everything. There's just some issues with gold and silver in terms of transporting it and using it as a currency. It's too heavy, it's too clunky, and also some people just don't even know what real gold and silver looks like. There may be counterfeits. People may try to make fake gold and silver. We've encountered that before with jewelry. So ideally you cannot counterfeit Bitcoin. So it seems like that'll probably be the easiest thing to acquire and store. You can use it online. It just makes more sense. You can have $1 million worth of Bitcoin on a Ledger Nano X and no one would ever know. If you had $1 million worth of gold or silver, and that's going to be heavy and it's going to be very hard to carry that around undetected. And honestly, people may just try to steal that from you if you walk around, which is impossible. You can't walk around with $1 million worth of gold. You'd need security, detail, and you would need so much protection for yourself, and you would need a huge U-Haul or something to carry that on a boat or a plane. It becomes really difficult to transport and carry that around seamlessly. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, or any other digital currency for that matter that will make it, you could just have this on a Ledger Nano X or S. You could have it on a paper wallet, or if you're really smart, you can just remember all of your seed phrases, and you can have that stored in your brain by memorizing it. So Bitcoin, it seems like that's where it's at. We're definitely gonna go to the moon sometime in the future, as long as governments continue to be irresponsible with quantitative easing, which they've backed themselves in a corner at this point. They have no choice but to continue to do it, and it seems like they want to do it so they can implement this new digital government-backed currency that they're aiming for. So it's only a matter of time before the house of cards topples over and we're in a new monetary system, which that may not even last long. So it seems like we're headed towards a dystopian future and also a utopian future. So for the people who have bought Bitcoin, gold, and silver, they'll be fine. They'll be living in the utopian future, whereas everyone else will be living in the dystopian future, where they'll be doing something strange for some change, unfortunately, or they'll be subjugated to whatever the government wants. So if they want vaccinations, or if they want your whereabouts. If they want to know anything about you, you will probably be willing to do it because you won't have any money. So they can paint you in a really dark. They could put you in a dark place, or they can, you know, corner you and basically almost do whatever they want to you because you don't have anything. So that dependency on government could be extremely dangerous. So this is why I say make sure that you are hedging yourself with some Bitcoin, gold, and silver. I would even say if you want to dabble within the other top 10 cryptos, you can do that too. But please be extremely careful. Do your own research, obviously, and read the white papers for each one of those cryptocurrencies as well. Don't just listen to anyone on library or YouTube. Just make sure that you're doing your own research thoroughly, and you know, you're reading up on the projects. You're looking into who's spearheading the projects, just so you know you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's. That is going to do it for this video. Thanks again. Please feel free to go to the YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share the video there. If you're on library and you're listening to this, please share the video and leave a comment. And that's going to do it for the video. Thanks again. I will see you guys later.